Shalom, everybody. Gray Scout, yo, Paula. What's up, everybody? It's Bear with BearIndependent.com. Thank y'all for being here. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to do my best to keep the Bear brief tonight. Thank you for being here. There's lots of other places you could be spending your time during the Corona apocalypse, but I'm glad you're here. Big shout out to our patrons and this big fluffy dog. Oh my gosh, Dad, talking on the internet. Dad, can I be on the internet too? Dad, I want to be on the internet. Am I on the internet? Dad, am I famous now? Hey, Dad. Hey. All right, get off my foot. Go kill things. Bad coyotes. Bad coyotes. Go get them. Go get them. All right, stop. Anyway, about that whole keeping things brief thing. Thank you for being here. There's lots of places you could be spending your time, and instead, you're here. I don't know what that says about you, but I appreciate the fact that you are probably just as weird, or at least weird in the same ways that I am. So, mucho apreciado, as they hablan in the Espanol. If you would like to share intel with us, please email us, intel@bearindependent.com. intel@bearindependent.com. Hey, Bear, what's the intel@bearindependent.com? Huge shout out to our patrons. YouTube doesn't like us. We don't much like them either. If you are here on the YouTube platform, you can like, comment productively, subscribe, share, do the little thumbs up thing and the bell thing and all that. That helps us in the algorithm. But for real, these things are designed to be passed around amongst your friends, your team, your tribe, your crew, your mag. So please feel free to do that with this particular content. And there goes the dog. Brief programming note. We observe Passover. We are believers in Messiah, and we observe Passover. No, I don't want to argue with you about it, because my convictions are mine, and it's my channel, so I'm going to do what I'm going to do. We observe Passover, and so the programming over the next 10-ish days is going to be a little bit sporadic. So tomorrow, if you see me, great. If you don't see me, great. Don't freak out. We'll be back, okay? We'll be back. So, friendly warning, we're just taking the sabbatical that we have been commanded to take and dedicating that time to Yahuwah, our Elohim, the Lord our God. So, if you don't see us, don't lose your mind. It's okay. Now, overview, 6th of April, 2020. It is, by the way, a Monday. In case you were like me and like, what freaking day is it? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? Question mark? The number of confirmed cases worldwide and in the U.S. continues to climb. As of the time of this reporting, the official numbers are as follows. 1.337 million global cases, up 70,000 since the last brief. Global deaths are 74,223. Global recoveries are 277,000. U.S. cases are 362,573 as of the time of this reporting. Up more than 29,000 cases since the last brief. U.S. deaths are up now officially over 10,000, 10,720, with a total of 19,313 recoveries. Many authorities are asking or requiring citizens and personnel to wear a mouth and nose covering in public. It is believed that even subpar materials could at least help slow the spread. I want to talk to you briefly about this. No, I'm not fixing to rob a bank. This is a subpar face covering, but it is a face covering, and what it is a North American Rescue triangle bandage in OD green. It also comes with a couple of these little safety pins right here, so that you can pin your damn mouth shut so you don't get any virus up in there, okay? And a rubber band, which you can wear around your wrist as a reminder to keep your damn mouth shut and not go out into public in the first place. But if you do need to go out into public for whatever reason and you want to look like you might be old-timey robbing a bank, you can get a triangle bandage, OD green, from North American Rescue. These are available in our web store. I just ordered 100 of them so that we would have them in stock to ship out to y'all, because we've had a lot of people who have reached out about how do I get a mask. And this is just simply a triangle bandage, AKA cravat. I've got it doubled over. These things are the bomb. If you've bought a bear fac, good news, you already got one, homie. It's in the bottom of the bag, on the pouch side of the bag. You've already got one of these, but they're fairly large. You could also probably let's see, here we go. This'll work. There's probably no virus gonna get in here like this. So we could just do this, and the likelihood of you getting the virus is gonna be significantly lower. Also, the likelihood of you being able to actually do anything is gonna be significantly lower. So you might do this because it could force you to self-quarantine. Yeah, I can't read this. There we go. Perfect.
You said go in the house?
Yeah, go in the house. Get out of here, you heathen. Coronavirus in animals. Tigers have tested positive for the virus after having contact with an infected caretaker who later showed symptoms. 2 dogs in China tested positive for the virus also. Some believe it can be transmitted between people and select animals as the virus binds to ACE2, the cell surface protein present in many species. Unfortunately, there is not enough solid information at this time to know if household animals can catch and transmit the virus. But the CDC recommends pet owners and caretakers wash their hands after interacting with animals. I feel like an extra in a horror film. So, triangle, bandage-o. Hey. I can't do this.
Come here. Ask her. 1.
So anyway, this is a triangle bandage. It's basically a giant bandana, can be used for a lot of things. Make a pressure dressing with it, a tourniquet with it, a sling with it, a belt with it, a cravat, a face shield, or whatever. 3 House Democrats have introduced a Leave No Taxpayer Behind Act designed to amend the cash payment section of the CARES Act to extend to non-citizens. How about no? 2 or more eyewitness accounts, continuity of infrastructure and supply chains. Repeating, essential business personnel, travel permission letters, placards, etc. are being issued nationwide to continue critical infrastructure operations and supply. We're continuing to receive these from the state of Arkansas, which currently has no official orders in place. In California, the company contracted to provide 911 services, to provide 911 ambulance services to Alameda County, may be putting a large number of its 600 employees on furlough because transport volume has greatly fallen since Bay Area governments implemented a stay-at-home, my fingers are sticky, are not sticky, a stay-at-home order. An internal email explained that furloughed EMTs and paramedics would go unpaid unless they use their allotted vacation time or sick days. Feeling a little parched. Pinky up. New Belgian Fat Tire Amber Ale. That. Muy delicioso, I think is how you habla on that in the Espanol. An email from Southwest Cargo states, due to operational challenges, we are currently unable to accept shipments to or from the Charleston facility until further notice. Some areas, excuse me a moment, wind has picked up. Some areas are experiencing or have experienced bank runs as people lose faith in the institutions and begin to panic. The unprecedented demand for physical cash can create a sudden shortage of cash on hand at the facility, which can change the allowable amounts the tellers are able to give out to each customer in order to make sure they don't run out. Unfortunately, this can further fuel panics as people believe they're being stolen from or won't be able to obtain their money at all. Note from the Intel staff. While it depends on the size of the facility and the institution, some places by policy may have only about $200,000 cash on hand. It doesn't take long to physically run out if all the customers suddenly arrive to withdraw everything. I can tell you firsthand, 2 weeks ago, more than 2 weeks ago, I went to the bank on some business. I had to withdraw some funds, and I was not able to get hundreds at all because they did not have them, and I got the last of their 20s. Now, my guess is they've re-upped since then, but the last of their 20s is, yeah. Legal and political. 42 states have essential services only travel restrictions, stay-at-home orders, shelter-in-place orders, or similar official proclamations. 4 states have certain areas under restriction or entire areas under partial restrictions. 4 states remain with no official orders, merely advisories. A full, regularly updated map of the United States' varying levels of restrictions can be seen on the New York New York anyway, their website. We're slightly ahead of them, but it's close. So good job, Bear Nation. We are doing better than the New York push it down. And we have a lot less staff than they do, but we have y'all, and y'all are totally badass, and we appreciate you. There's kids running around everywhere. There's chickens bok-bocking. There's a battle goat up on the deck. The dog's over here in this field over here thinking that he's gonna go eat something bad. Mom disappeared somewhere. There's lots of distractions going on just immediately outside of the view of this camera. So, sorry, not sorry, as my project manager likes to say. Again, a proposed bill, H.R. 5717, would require citizens to apply for a federal license before being able to purchase a firearm. Additionally, the government would have the authority to deny the required license, even if the applicant has no criminal history or mental health issues. This could also enact a 50% tax on guns and ammunition in the U.S. This is something to research and act further on. Also, while we're all sitting at home with nothing to do, not all of us are sitting at home with nothing to do, I get that, but a lot of us are, pick up the phone and light them up. Call your representatives and let them know, absolutely not, no way, no how, no sir, not interested, that's not happening. And if you do that, we're not gonna drag you behind a pickup truck because that's brutal. We would never do that. But we might show up at your office with a feather pillow and some roofing tar. 'Cause you looked cold and we wanted to make sure you stayed warm or whatever. I don't know. That's abysmal. It's terrible. Let's not do that. And we have the time right now to make sure that they understand that we're not gonna do this. Well, Bear, what you don't understand is the reason that they're pushing this through is because they're getting all the National Guard in place underneath this declaration of a national emergency. They're getting them all in place so they can push this bill through, and then us legal people won't be able to get the weapons. And then when they start in with the martial law, it's gonna get crazy. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's a wonderful theory, Cletus, and I appreciate your input. But let's work in reality right now. The reality is that this is a bill, not a law. It's a proposed set of ideas, not a codified and stamped set of ideas. And the National Guard has been deployed in the places that they are deployed without weapons and without ammunition. And every one of those people has sworn an oath to uphold the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I seriously believe that the vast majority of those people intend to uphold that oath. And those that don't, Might need a little bit of reminding, but I don't see that being an issue. And I have a lot more commentary on that, but I don't want to dive into that rabbit hole right now. This would be a great topic for me and Kyle, our brother Kyle at Survival Prepping for Normal People. I'll reach out to him about putting a live stream together on that. That would be a phenomenal live stream. Great channel, by the way, Survival Prepping for Normal People. You should check it out, since you're probably a normal person and you're just trying to survive while you're prepping. Just saying. Shabba-dabba-da. In Michigan, Benton Township Police Chief Brian Smith is an a-hole and issued a cease and desist order to Lowe's of Benton Harbor due to substantive activity in the store's nursery and flower gardens department. Quote, "It has been brought to our attention that an area of your business, the nursery and flower garden area, is still in operation. You are hereby notified to immediately cease and desist all activity in this area at your business and any other area of your business which is non-essential, per Governor Whitmer's Executive Order number 2020-21, temporary requirement to suspend activities that are not necessary to sustain or protect life." People don't seem to understand that food doesn't just come out of a drive-through window or a cardboard box or off of a nice little piece of styrofoam. That's not how food works. There are myriad reasons why we live where we live, but one of those myriad reasons is that we are much more in control of the supply chain of our food and our feed here than we are elsewhere. Hey, look, there's some food running around back there. That's not an accident, and I cannot encourage y'all more strongly right now to start taking personal responsibility for what it is you are going to eat, what you are going to feed your family, your extended family, your mutual assistance group, your tribe, your team, your church, your neighborhood, your cul-de-sac, your whatever, man. If anything, this COVID-19 thing should be, for all of us, a wake-up call. If you've been sitting on the fence for a while thinking, yeah, I kind of enjoy prepping, it's a fun little hobby. It's not a hobby for us, it's a lifestyle. And everybody we fellowship with, it's also a lifestyle for. This is just how we live. So that when the freaking fragile system collapses or has lost so many of its underpinnings that it is no longer fully functional, we're not severely hampered by it. That's the whole idea behind Bear Independent. And so this guy, Brian Smith, is a jerk. Police Chief Brian Smith, Michigan, Benton Township. Somebody ought to send him an email. Send him this video, please. I would love to hear your rebuttal, Brian Smith. And if your answer is, I'm just doing my job, it's time to find somebody else to do the job. Repeating, several places have enacted curfews. Some have begun travel checkpoints, and in some areas, they are barring recreational travel. In others, such as Montana and Rhode Island, they have enacted a 14-day quarantine for non-commercial travelers. Repeating, order enforcement in various areas of the country. Stay-at-home orders are being enforced by local police. Penalties range from warnings to fines and or jail time of varying degrees depending upon local laws. Jail time. Interesting. Military. The National Guard is helping staff self-isolation facilities and polling locations for the April 7th election due to the shortage of volunteers in Wisconsin. So, a brief aside for those that don't know, one of the perhaps most obnoxious things about goats is they go wherever they want to go. Now, this one right here is right there on top of my stack of building materials, trying to eat its own foot. That's what's going on right there. The other thing you got to understand, there it goes, is they just poop wherever they want to poop, whenever they feel like pooping. They're completely unshy about it. They're almost like a toddler that has just learned to potty train, except the potty's everywhere. They're actually kind of excited about it. So, yeah. Hashtag goat poop everywhere, bro. It's a constant battle. Department of Defense. Defense Secretary Mark Esper has issued the directive that starting 7 April, anyone on DoD property must wear a cloth mask if they cannot maintain a 6-foot distance from other people. The rule applies to everyone, except if or when they are within their own homes. Esper says the military services will be updating uniform regulations to account for masks, but until then, troops are able to make their own from household items. Like your completely subpar, late 1800s, early 1900s bank robbery mask fashioned from a triangle bandage that is OD green in color and comes from bearindependent.com at the web store, provided by North American Rescue. Thank you all very much. And you could, like, I don't know, tie this. You could tie this back to this, and it's actually fairly, if you tied this back to this, that would actually be pretty good. Medical, remember, the reported number of positive tests is likely far lower than the current reality. As we said before repeatedly, the numbers that we give at the beginning of each briefing is likely the number from 10 to 14 days ago. So, and the reality of those numbers is just pure speculation as what they could probably be or probably are right now. People are throwing out anywhere from 10-fold to 100-fold more than what is being reported. So we're looking at anywhere between 10 and 100 million cases worldwide. We're looking at anywhere between 10,000 and 100,000, no, a million cases in the United States. Deaths in the United States. Is that math right? I'm sure one of you math Nazis out there will let me know. Thanks. And by the way, whoever's been in the super chat, I appreciate you. I do not have the chat up during these live streams, but thank you for dropping the dimes. Mucho apreciado. It feeds my appreciation of amber ale. And I'm right now the glass is all the way empty guy. So we're gonna take our Spyderco Cara Cara 2 that was acquired from adventurefrontier.com, which is a fine place to purchase armor if you're in the market for armor. You can also buy Bearfax there. Hell, you can buy triangle bandages there if you want to, which is the country way of saying if you feel like it, if you want to, you can do that there. Or if you want to, you can buy them at bearindependent.com as well. And mission successful. Now we just need an aircraft carrier with President George H.W. Bush, no, Bush 2, out there on the prow of the boat with a giant banner on the back that says mission accomplished. And then we can drink our beers. Societal in general, New York City, there have been rumors about burying the dead in city parks. The mayor's office said the city was nowhere near the point where burials in parks would occur. That's good to know that there is a point. There is a point somewhere where it's okay to bury people in, say, Central Park. That's good to know. The city can accommodate 19,000 dead at Hart Island, the facility that accommodates their dead. That capacity would have to be exceeded before parks would be considered for burials. A previous brief addressed the reported phenomenon of prisoners being paid to dig graves on Hart Island. There have been several reports of hospital workers being furloughed, laid off, or generally just not having enough work to do. With people staying home and actively choosing to not seek medical care, many facilities have seen a drastic reduction in patients. Meanwhile, in very hard-hit areas such as New York City, there are many reports of facilities being very full and chaotic. The challenge there, or I guess the opposing argument here, the tit for tat, is I did see that video that several of you all sent me. We talked about this yesterday, from Ms. Dana Ashley at her channel, showing citizen reporters out on the streets in New York City and the Pacific Northwest going to hospitals that are freaking ghost towns, that are supposed to be overrun, but are not overrun. I don't know. I'm not there. If any of y'all can confirm if you are in these hospitals and you were seeing it firsthand, I would love to hear from you. Intel@bearindependent.com. Intel@bearindependent.com. You have to understand that every intel report that you send is like an animal cracker that gets passed through the cage to the dance monkeys at Intel@bearindependent.com, and they relish these things. They love them. It's the only way they have the energy to dance around in that cage and make these reports appear is if you feed them with your intel. So if you're out there wondering, what can I do to contribute, and you have actionable intel, Intel@bearindependent.com. Yes, that's what a white guy looks like trying to dance while sitting on camera on YouTube. You're welcome. Now, some people are traveling hundreds of miles from hard-hit areas to escape the virus and or the quarantine, but often fall ill after bugging out, possibly, probably, spreading the disease at gas and grocery stores along the way. First responders and medical staff that test positive and or show symptoms have to self-quarantine in many places, and because of this, they have greatly reduced the number of them that are actually able to respond to the COVID-19 threat. We're seeing this more and more and more and more. All right. Single accounts, insider intel, and miscellaneous. We talked about triangle bandages at the bear store. Guys, I bought 100 of these things. I would really like it if you guys just bought them up, because I don't know what I'm going to do with 100 of these things. If I need to get more, I will. But that's it. The OD Green triangular bandage this is legit. This thing is legit. It's even got an NSN number, man. They issue these things to the people who do the things. And like I said, if you have a bear fact, if you already got a bear fact from the web store, bearindependent.com, or from adventurefrontier.com, that also has armor, by the way. Mask, maybe wear it like this, like one eyeball, like this, so you could look like some kind of extra in a horror film, or Marvel's next newest superhero dude with the bad mask. I don't know. You could do that, but you already have one of these if you bought a bear fact. They're also included in every bear fact. Or you could just get one standalone at the web store or at adventurefrontier.com, where they also have armor. The best armor. It stops all the bullets. Everybody tells me. We tried the platinum bullets and the gold bullets, even the diamond ones. Nothing got through. Nothing. It's like Hillary's head. Nothing got through. There's nothing in there. You can't get through. Criminal. City of Houston Fire Department has 17 positive cases and 206 Houston FD, Houston Fire Department staff, the best words. These are the tremendous words. You should believe me. Self-quarantined, and the City of Houston Police Department has 20 positive cases with 134 Houston PD staff self-quarantined. So between the two, 37 cases between Fire and Police Department, and 340 individuals self-quarantined between the Houston Fire Department and the Houston Police Department. Ohio, due to 3 inmate deaths and 20 inmate hospitalizations at Elkton Federal Correctional Institution, the governor ordered the National Guard to supplement medical staff and assist with the transport of inmates to medical facilities. Bear, what's going on here is we're going to expose the National Guard to all these sick people, and then once the National Guard is just completely all ate up with this coronavirus, this COVID-19 shenaniganry, what's going to happen is DHS is going to get out there with their black boots and their black hats and their NRAPs that they got from the Department of Defense, and they're going to shut down all the communications, because I saw a Q post about this. They're going to break down all the commo, and they're going to get out there with their rat-a-tat-a-tatas, and they're just going to start killing people, and it's going to be martial law. Thank you, Cletus. That's also probably not what's happening. Probably what's happening is that while Ohio's governor seems to be a reckless POS based upon previous experience with said Ohio governor, the National Guard is deployed in a support role to assist with the COVID-19 recovery and the medical staff that are battling COVID-19. So while this seems like a terrible call, that's their job right now. So Sorry, bro, put the tinfoil away. Or maybe that is what's happening. I don't know. The Ohio Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation has announced 10 inmates, say it backwards, Setamnes. 10 Setamnes, 5 each, have tested positive for coronavirus at Marion and Pickaway Correctional Institutions. 27 staff, mostly at Marion Correctional, have tested positive for coronavirus. In New Jersey, food stores are adequately stocked, with some things running low, like bread, cereal, pasta, and bulk rice. One major chain in the area is limiting quantities on some frozen food, milk, butter, and chopped meat. The chain also announced that about 20 of its stores have had employees test positive for COVID. Awesome. Field hospitals are popping up at a stadium and 2 expo centers. A local Leo sergeant, law enforcement officer, said police are reaction only right now. No traffic stops unless absolutely necessary. However, as of right now, crime has not seemed to increase much yet. International news. The Polish government forbade entering forests. Guys, we are neither a news agency nor an intelligence agency. We're simply trying to facilitate the sharing of intel and information to the best of our ability amongst the Bear Nation, which y'all are a part of. Thank you for being here. But do you know how weird it is to me to be in this position where I feel a little bit newscastery, because that's kind of what I'm doing, and then to say the words, in international news, the Polish government forbade entering forests. WTF, bro? The Polish government forbade entering forests as an extension to existing quarantine efforts and restrictions. You are not allowed to bug out in Poland, apparently. You cannot go out there into yon woods and just stay out there. We need to talk to our buddy Oliver. He's not in Poland, but he is in Europe. Oliver, I need another report from you. What's going on over there? In the UK, people started to set 5G masts on fire due to a conspiracy theory that there is a link between 5G and the virus. Confirmed locations per contributor: Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool, and Melling in Myerside. Now, again, guys, does 5G cause particles to spin, which limits oxygen uptake? It very well may. Were the earliest outbreaks in areas where there is 5G, for example, China? Yep. Are there 5G? Is there 5G technology on cruise ships where there have been a lot of outbreaks? Yep. Is it possible that the tail is wagging the dog on this one? Yep. If it is 5G, is there anything you can do about it besides try and set 5G masts on fire? Nope. Well, there is one thing. The book of Revelation, the revelation of Yeshua Messiah, Jesus the Christ, is given by the Apostle John, Yochanan, chapter 12, verse 17. Come out of her, my people. I'm sorry, it's 18, verse 4. Come out of her, my people, lest you partake of her sins and receive of her plagues. Get your dirty butthole out of the city, out here into the dirty, dirty country where we don't have 5G. Hell, we don't have 1G in a lot of places. Nobody is making our oxygen molecules spin. Nobody. It's not possible. At least not yet. Well, Bear, they're going to cover the earth with 5G towers. Are they? Are they? Right now, we can't even seem to find some ventilators. But we're going to conspiratorially cover the entire planet with 5G so that we can subject the masses to spinning oxygen particles, which will limit our oxygen uptake. And then finally, the reptilian overlords will be able to descend from the sky in their mothership, and Anubis will return, and then the Illuminati with the Council on Foreign Relations, they're going to come together and institute one world order, and or let's look at these cities: Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool, and Melling and Myerside. I would bet you There's a bunch of freaking people there. I would bet you that the population density equation there is freaking abysmal. I really want to say bad words tonight. I'm trying not to because I know some of you all watch this with your children, and I try and police my words, but man, I'm not great at it. So I'm trying. It could just be that the population density equation is wrong. It could just be that I've been telling y'all for years population density matters. It could just be that one of the reasons you're told not to be in the cities is so that you receive not of her plagues. Just saying. All right. Now, actionable. Fake information. Lots of people are spreading falsified posts and viral information. We've gotten hundreds of emails and text messages and Instagram messages and everything else. Yeah, that's right. Bear does the Instagrams. I'm on the IG. Get some of the, you know, the meme that's going around, the screenshot that's like, hey, insider intel, not supposed to tell anybody, but in 10 days, DHS is shutting down the entire country. There will be martial law. Pass it along. Not that I know of, and believe me, if I knew, I'd let you know. So that is completely debunked at this point. To say nothing of the fact that it's been going around for longer than 10 days. Well, that's just because Q hasn't sent the message via Twitter yet that it's time to lock it down to that, or it's fake. You pick. For example, a post by April Fool's pranksters copied the Oklahoma City Television News 9 logo to make their report of COVID-19 infested catfish spreading the virus look legitimate. The Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation had to publicly respond, quote, "You may have seen the latest fake news about COVID-19 and catfish. This is not an accurate news report and did not come from the local news station. Make sure you get your news from a reliable source." By the way, not a reliable source, not a news agency, not an intelligence agency. Although, honored and humbled that you're here, trying to be a good steward of the responsibility that I feel towards y'all, trying to convey this information to you to the best of my ability. But we're not a news agency either. Test everything. It's literally the same thing when I read my Bible with y'all. To me, the most sacred piece of work that's ever been created. I tell you, don't take my word for it. Go do your own research. Do not trust me. I am a man that has failed himself so many times that I can guarantee it is just a matter of time until I fail y'all. So don't take my word for it either. Do your own homework. Just as you should not subcontract your faith to me when we're reading a Bible, don't subcontract your intel to me when we're reading this report. This is a springboard to launch you into action so that you can go do things on your own. That's how this works. I mean, we could do a 3-hour radio show every day, 6 days a week, just on this report. Again, the entirety of this report and all reports is on patreon.com. Just look for the Bear logo, search for Bear Independent. You'll find us there. Oh, and we just posted the entry for the $5 and up patrons, the giveaway. The giveaway this month is one of these. This is a Bear minimum kit with the brand new Bear. I know, right? You guys at home that are like, bro, my ADD, my OCD, I'm sorry, is so bad. Bear, line the patch up so that it's not crooked. Okay. All right, I got it, y'all. We better now? We're better now. With the brand new gray and black Bear patch. I love that. I think it's awesome. Bear, how come your logo's a pentagram? That's a pentagon, an equilateral pentagon. It has 5 sides. It's not a star inscribed inside of a circle. What does it mean? Nothing. It means that I liked the graphic design that was submitted to me for a Bear logo by various different artists. This is the one that won. I liked it. So that's what it means. There's no Illuminati here. But anyway, one of these in gray. And It has some quick clot gauze in it as well. And then so the way this works is that in here, there's an inner handle, okay, like so. And then outer pouch and an inner pouch. This stays mollied onto your belt, your plate carrier, your whatever, your headrest. Pull that out. And then you pop that tab open and this comes open. And so you got your surgical tape, 6-inch emergency trauma dressing, decompression needle, cat tourniquet right there, set of nitrile gloves. And then in here, you have your shears, legit North American Rescue shears with the O2 bottle opening. If you're a medical professional, you know why that exists. And then you have what we call the stack inside of this pouch. Comes out, and you've got your 28 gauge nasal pharyngeal airway right there, nose trumpet with the Surgilube. You've got 2 5x9s, and the 5x9s are included not necessarily for wound packing, but I find that they're definitely nice to have if you have to clean blood and bodily fluids off of a patient, especially in the box region where you're trying to get these to bite your high fin chest seals. And there's 2 of them in here, full size high fins. A lot of these kits are running the compact high fins. A lot of comparable kits that cost up to $100 more and aren't made in the United States are running the compact high fins, and they're running the compacts because they cost about $1 less, and because they're easier to make fit into a kit. Well, this whole thing was purpose built and purpose designed to fit in a very tight package. About yay, there's my hand, okay? About yay big. It's the same size, if not a little bit smaller than your standard IFAC that's issued to the United States military currently, but it's got more stuff and better stuff in it. So we're giving away one of these, outer pouch, the whole 9. And then in addition to that, we are giving away a brand new EMP shield right here, never been installed. I don't know what's actually inside of this. I think when you plug it up, and it's got the little doorbobble on it, indicator lights, so that you can put this, you know, outside of the panel so that you see, hey, it's running. And this was sent to us by EMP Shield. They sent us 3 of these. I've installed 2 of them. I'm sorry, I've installed 1 of them. I have ambitions to install the second. And the third one I'm giving away to y'all for our $5 and up patrons on Patreon. $5 and up patrons on Patreon. So, and we'll be doing that drawing at the end of the month. And so in addition to the minimum of 24 exclusive pieces of content per month, but right now is more like 50 to 75 exclusive pieces of content per month on Patreon. In addition to all of that, we do giveaways as well, and this month it is this bare minimum in Gray Man Gray. There we go. This kit and this EMP shield. It's upside down. You get the point. I literally think when you plug this up, a black hole appears. And then when there's a lightning strike, the lightning or the surge just goes into the black hole. That's the only thing I can think of. And then if that's not what works, or that's not how it works, it's probably just a conspiracy to get us all to put these in our houses to create mini black holes, which will then allow the reptilian overlords to come out of the black holes and attack us and rape our dogs and eat our children. Because zombies and stuff, I don't know. I'm a pretty bad prepper, actually, because the whole doomy thing, not so much. Also on Patreon, which will be referenced here in this report later, is this working paper. Projected COVID-19 epidemic trends and health system needs for Oregon. And this is an interesting document. This is posted up right now. First of all, it's got some good graphs in here for the exponentiality of this disease. And This is available at the $1 and up level. There's some more graphs here. And then it's also the aim of this working paper is that the people who wrote this paper at the Institute for Disease Modeling in Bellevue, Washington, are looking for other people out there to partner with to better update these models. But there's some good predictions in here on this document, also on Patreon. So just throwing that out there for y'all, making you aware of the fact that I'm not asking you to give me $1 or more a month simply because you like me. We do a metric S-ton of exclusive content there. So, in fact, it's my primary focus. And we do this every night, 6 days a week. And so if I'm doing this 6 days a week here, and this is not my primary focus, just imagine what's going on over there. But I digress. All right, back to actionable. Lots of fake intel. In Morristown, New Jersey, they're still looking for baby monitors. So help out with that. Contact your representatives about gun stores. Keep them open. Be aware of scams. Support your medical workers however you can. There's 1,000 people here and there's only 378 thumbs up. What's going on? In some areas, there have been reports of police impersonators. Know your local cops. Have a commo plan. Talked about this as well. Consider not taking NSAIDs, as they will make you feel even more ill on this virus. And research and consider using HEPA cloth vacuum bags in DIY mask design, as that material may filter an equal or higher percentage of materials than the typical N95 mask. Also, another viewer says that 2 layers of blue shop rags may filter up to 93 to 95%. This is unconfirmed. We're not doctors. We don't play doctors on the internet. And then, as already stated, you got your Bonnie and Clyde mask right here. Oh, I lost it. Bear lost it. Right here. So you can do this as well. And I think I would be a pretty good robber back in the day. I'm feeling confident. I feel like I just look super sexy with this on. And like if there was like a bank that needed to get robbed like 100 years ago, I could probably do it with this look, you know. I think guns are scary, but I could get over it. Just like for a little bit of time, because there's gold up in them hills and I need to get me some. So if this mask is what makes that happen, then I'm in. You know what I mean, girlfriend? I'm in. Silver linings. A viewer has obtained 30 hens at no cost, though he's looking for an Australorp rooster for sale. Now has 5 garden beds, seeds planted with 30,000 more seeds coming. Bless you, brother. And he's about to plow up a 50 by 50 row crop bed for corn, potatoes, and other row crop foods. Was just rebaptized in Yahuwah's name and Yeshua's Torah, along with a brother and possible MAG members. Amen. The baptism was in a chicken farmer's pond. Praise the Most High. I hope you took a bath afterwards, homie. One person says their family is, quote, rocking this quarantine, end quote. His family is enjoying reconnecting. They opened up their home to extended family. They're preparing for the most aggressively sized garden they have ever had. It includes a new greenhouse. Amen. My wife and I are spending more time in the scriptures than we ever have before. Praise the Most High. A man and his wife are moving towards a self-sufficient homestead. Our Alaskan community is starting to feel the effects of the pandemic, but they are able to reach out and help others. Their 50 chicken flock is growing, and they are starting a program called Eggs for Elders, collaborating with other poultry farmers to donate eggs to those most at risk. That is awesome. A Canadian Boy Scout has used his 3D printer to manufacture ear guards for medical workers. This keeps the mask strings off the back of the ears to prevent it from digging uncomfortably into the skin during the continuous mask use. A man who lives in an HOA-controlled neighborhood where gardening in view of the street is not allowed has been guerrilla gardening for years. Now he's upped his crops to fully visible status in direct defiance of the HOA. Quote, yesterday, one of the board members walked by and complimented my garden. Praise the Father. That is freaking tremendous. A viewer says the increased time watching Bear these past few months has encouraged her to upgrade her garden to raised beds and increase the square footage, and that being home more has increased their 2-year-old's vocabulary. She said, "I love you" today. That's awesome. Congratulations. A viewer who works for the county teaching parent education courses say they are now able to help parents remotely, and they are being trained to serve parents of children with disabilities. They are hopeful that this will decrease the number of maltreatment cases in the area. Also, even though they live in an apartment, they are growing a bucket garden. Amen. Bear, you don't get it. It's just so hard. Amen. They're also giving away small plants to those who are not able to buy. They also are building a self-sustaining tiny home. A nearby town had a teacher parade in which the teachers all got in their cars, escorted by police, and went to each neighborhood and waved at their students. This family took Bear's advice to heart and has been stacking food to the rafters. Because they heeded your advice, we are now at a year's worth of stored food and have been able to give away around 150 pounds of supplies in the past month. Quote, "These times are very hard, and I find myself in tears of frustration, grief, and longing for normal often. But watching you each night gives me a sense of grounding and reminds me there is good in the world. Thank you for all you do." Well, I'll tell you what, bless you. And I'm sorry that this has to be your reminder of normalcy and good in the world, because I count myself abnormal for sure. But to the extent that we are both abnormal together, I'm blessed by that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And to be clear, it's not my advice, it's Yah's advice, and he just convicts my stubborn A word to the point where I can't not do what he tells me to do. He talks to me many times the same way a hammer talks to a nail. And the nail understands one way or another, I'm about to get driven. We can do it the easy way or we can do it the hard way. And so, thank you, but praise him, because he's the one that made all this happen. Again, the entirety of this report is on Patreon. So much for doing this quickly, 52 minutes in. Bless y'all for being here. The web store, we're shipping Bear Facts. Had a guy contacted me on Instagram and said, "Hey, yeah, it sure is, Patriot Plumber." Had a guy contact me and say, "Hey, I ordered a Bear Fact a week ago. How come I haven't gotten it yet?" We're handmade, made to order, made in America, guaranteed forever. Our quoted fulfillment time is 3 to 5 weeks. Right now, we are fulfilling from your order to your door between 17 and 21 days currently, which is actually better than it's ever been. And so, yeah, it takes a little bit longer to get one of our kits, but they're handmade, made in America, guaranteed forever, with the best internals that you can get in a kit, bar none. So, should you want to buy a Bear Fact or Bare Minimum, you can at the web store. Or a OD green triangle bandage, you can at the web store. Or anything else at the web store. There's a lot of channels I want to shout out just briefly. There's a lot of channels I follow. I already mentioned Kyle at Survival Prepping for Normal People. Great dude. Pastor Joe Fox at Viking Preparedness. Two of the channels I support on Patreon are Survival Prepping for Normal People. I'm Pastor Joe at Viking Preparedness, and I get a lot of good actionable intel, good content from them daily. I was on Reality Survival Prepping last night as part of a live stream with JJ, and also Che from Prepper Logic and Eric from the Lord Humongous channel last night. So if you want to go find that, you can. I dig those guys. I enjoyed doing that with them. I did not host it. I don't even really know how to host live streams anymore other than my own, but we'll figure that out. So you can go check that out. All a bunch of good guys. Adapt 2030 for sure. Ice Age Farmer for sure, and Yamasa Ama Ranch for sure. Really good intel as far as growing food and the Grand Solar Minimum. And then our brothers, the NWA Prepper, Asymmetrical Preparedness, Yankee Survival, and Prepping in Progress. Also great channels. All people that I know in real life, and they're wonderful people, and yeah, they're out there doing the things. They're not just running their mouth about it, they're out there doing the things. What did we do today? We packed and shipped freaking orders. We zeroed an AR-15 because I put a new dot sight on the DPMS. I put a Sig Romeo 5 on there. I've had such good luck with the one on my PSA rifle, my budget build, that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get another one of these. And yeah, really enjoyed it. It's a good, for $120, $130, it's a great dot sight. I weeded 100 square foot of garden and top dressed that garden area with more wood chips. Planted cucumbers, coordinated with brothers for tomorrow. Did a couple of Patreon posts. Played the drums. I can't even go to the shop anymore. I'm sorry, the office anymore and not play the drums. It's quarantine life has been great for my relationship with my drum set. So that's awesome. And I ate bean soup. It was really good bean soup. Beans and onions and garlic, lots of garlic and chicken and a little bit of jalapeno. And then you put all that in a bowl, maybe over rice with a little bit of sour cream, some cheddar cheese. Oh yeah, Mexican flavorings. Can you even say that? Yeah, whatever. Mexican flavorings. It was delicious. All right. Lastly, again, as a reminder, our schedule is going to be screwy the next few days, probably for a little over a week because of Passover. So if you don't see us, it's not because the world has ended. Or maybe it is because the world has ended, but much more likely to be Passover and that erratic schedule that we are going to have in the near future. So don't lose your mind if you don't see us, you know, probably after tomorrow for a few days. We're fine. We're just observing the feasts. Intel@bearindependent.com if you have any intel you'd like to pass along. I greatly appreciate it. This is driven by you, by the way. These are all reports that are contributed to us by y'all, by the Bear Nation. And so if you have something you'd like to share that you think would be beneficial for the class, and if it's actionable, intel@bearindependent.com. Now let's pray. Father Yah, thank you for your Moedim, your appointed times. Thank you for the fact that we've got Passover and unleavened bread coming up. Thank you for the fact that this is simply a reminder of the work that Yeshua did on the stake, of our redemption through Messiah, Father. Thank you for separating us from sin. Thank you for keeping us focused on you, even as the world tries to end. I pray that you just continue to guide us, that you would point us in the right direction, Father, because there's a lot of uncertainty out there. There's a lot of anxiety out there. And man, some days I don't know if it's founded or unfounded. I don't know. And so we lean not on our own understanding, Father. We just ask you to speak to us and make it clear to us what it is that we're supposed to do, and to speak to us in languages that we can understand. Father, if there's anything within the sound of my voice that's not of you, I rebuke it in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach and command it to flee. Get the hell out of my presence. And Father, I pray you'd fill us up with your Ruach HaKodesh, your Holy Spirit. I pray that you'd empower us to do many mighty things in your name, that you'd continue to provide for us and protect us so that we can do so. I pray that we'd continue to experience your blessings. I pray that we would live Deuteronomy 28. I pray that we would live 1 Peter 2:21. Father, thank you for the daily walk. Thank you for redemption through Yeshua, and I pray blessings on everybody within the sound of my voice. In Yeshua's name, amen. Bless y'all. Shalom.